It's time for Where You Live with Gene and Tony, the show that's all about owning, buying, selling, renting, and association management. If it involves a home, we'll talk about it. Here's your chance to get your homeowner questions answered. From the Concierge Landscape Studios, here's Gene and Tony.
Needed the shelter of someone's arms, and there you were. Needed someone to understand my ups and downs.
Good morning. Welcome to Where You Live with Gene and Tony. I'm Gene Sullivan.
And I'm Tony Crockett. Happy to be here today, Gene.
It is a great day. And folks, we're so glad to have you join us, broadcasting from the Concierge Landscape Studios. We're brought to you this hour by Extreme Exteriors and American Family Insurance, the Kim Bennett Agency. And a lot of great stories we're following today on the show. I think everybody's heard about that huge fire that was in Colorado. You know.
Wildfires.
Is that still going on? I think they have got that under control.
I don't remember. I don't remember if I heard it was under control. It seemed like it went on for so long that it was always just a story you heard on the news twice a day.
Yeah, well, a number of townhomes, condos, and other association communities were affected, and they've got some big choices ahead of them. The first story we're going to be dealing with is going to talk about some of their challenges, but some of the opportunities they have as well. We are also going to be digging into the disgruntled file. We have a homeowner who had a misunderstanding of the services provided, and we'll talk about that. It's a great exercise in talking about communication. And then perhaps you folks have also heard that in the start of this next year, homes could have a 3.8% sales tax added to them, and this would be a surcharge on top of everything else that would be used to help fund health care. We're going to be talking about what that means. What do we know it will do, and what don't we know?
If it will do.
Yes, exactly. That and so much more. But let's begin with our first story in property management in the news. Property management in the news is brought to you by Pest Control Services. When you need to get rid of unwanted pests in your home or rental property, call someone who's responsive, professional, and a proud member of Angie's List. Give owner Greg Keener a call at 952-894-9748. Pest Control Services. Well, our first story was from Colorado, and this from the Denver Post. Like we said, in Colorado's probably most destructive wildfire that they've had, and they don't know how long, has become a bit of a problem, and that would be an understatement for a number of homes. In the Waldo Canyon area, there is a community called Mountain Shadows Community, and it consists of a little over 346 homes. It's a mix of custom homes, patio homes, condos, townhomes, but they all share living in an association. And now, because we've got not just one or a few of homes that need to be repaired, and that's usually what we have here in our area. When there's a claim, you don't usually have every single home that's totally destroyed.
Right. If there's one of those acts of God that the insurance companies like to name them, it's usually maybe one building, maybe of 4 attached homes or 6 attached homes, but it's I can't think of a time when we've lost 346 homes to one event.
Yeah, one event, and this is from a fire where everything was obliterated. And it says now there are some concerns and fear that property owners living in these associations are going to ignore the covenants when they hire dozens of architects and builders, creating a future mishmash of homes that will clash designs, materials, and the architectural design that they all agreed to.
Yeah.
I
Interesting.
And so they say, what can we do about this?
Right. Is there some? Yeah, they're trying to come up with proactive things to do to help avoid that conflict.
Yeah, and we talked about this before the show started. It's always interesting to me that people always try to come up with that law, with that rule, with that idea that's going to be able to take care of everything. It's going to solve it.
Because that's the first direction, or that's the direction they're taking, isn't it?
Yes.
Let's come up with some kind of set of regulations. Some people are suggesting a layer of government, right? Or
Yes.
an agency to oversee
Yeah,
this.
and we'll be talking about what some of their suggestions are.
Yeah.
But this idea, Tony, that you can finally come up with, there's the pursuit of just one more rule, one more law, and we'll be able to take care of the problem forever.
Right, and no one will ever violate it because it will be so perfect that they won't want to. And you pointed out that that's really the job and the perspective that government has. That's the tool government has, is
Yes.
to come up with more regulations or create a new agency. So that's the only solution they see to every problem.
And there is an idea that some people have that you can create utopia. You can create perfection. That here is the rule. Here's the thing that we're going to establish, and now we will never have any more problems again.
The problem with trying to create a utopia or a perfect society is that in order to do that, government gets more and more regulatory and removes more and more of our individual rights.
Yes.
It's kind of one of those consequences of that.
Well, that's a very good point. Anytime you want government to have more control means that freedom is being taken away and other things. And let's talk about what one of those ideas that's being floated around right now. They said maybe the idea would be for us to create what they would call a special district at Mountain Shadows in this area that would have greater authority than the individual neighborhood group. So we'll create someone else who will have more authority than the board of directors, because the board of directors won't be able to take care of architectural control for all of these homes. Everybody's going to be going out on their own.
Well, it is. Let's say this. It is a huge project. It's a huge issue, and they are right that most homeowners associations in existence have never had to deal with this scope, this large job of regulation.
Think of the time that's involved. Any time one homeowner wants to make a minor change, like an awning to the back of their deck, or changing the deck a little bit, they bring something before the board, and the board says, well, where are the plans? And then next month they come back with the plans and the design, and then they discuss it. Right. And that takes some time. Yeah, it does. Now you've got 346 homes.
People trying to build new homes.
This becomes a full-time job.
So it is an issue. The first idea is to create a special district with a special governance of some kind to dictate and enforce the design guidelines that are already in place by the covenant.
Special? What do you think?
Well, you and I, we discussed this at length before the program today, and you mentioned, I jotted this down. So who is going to make up this special district? Who's going to decide who runs this special district, and how will it be operated? We're starting to talk now maybe about appointments or about elections. They also say the district could possibly be funded by a mill levy. Now, isn't that
there you go?
Kind of a
there
tax?
It is. That's right.
Okay.
No, we don't like to call them taxes.
No, this is a levy.
These are opportunities, I guess, for people to give. But yes, you're exactly right. Soon as you get another body of folks that are going to be involved, it's going to take time, and when it takes time, it's going to take money, because people just don't do everything for free. Board members do, but not not when it comes to government.
Right. They also point out that another supporting idea or a supporting argument for a special district is that individual homeowner associations are not going to have the time nor the money to fight with owners that go rogue, owners that decide they're not going to follow the existing covenants, that they want to do something entirely different. They're saying that these associations with volunteer boards don't have the means or the time to fight each of these fights as they arise.
Yes, and there is some truth to that, but we're talking about is something that is a very small thing indeed.
You think?
I do. When even though they've got a lot before them,
A lot of homes.
I think there's probably going to be a lot of people who are probably not going to be causing much of a fuss or an issue.
You think most people will follow their covenants and will want to do it the right way?
I do. I'd like us to discuss this maybe just a little bit more, but we've got to take a break right now. So let's do that when we come back. We will put some final thoughts on this wildfire that destroyed the homes in Colorado. Back after this.